Well, Democrats are freaking out about all the corruption that we are learning about has been funded through our tax dollars, including funding these ludicrous projects, paying the media inordinate amounts of money. Now, just before the show, Representative Nancy Mace joined us to discuss how crazy it is right now on Capitol Hill with Democrats not sure what they even stand for. I thought they stood for transparency, but I guess they don't. As long as they're standing against President Trump, I guess, that's just fine. But what's going on? What are they calling for? Watch what she had to say. So tell me about the Democrats' absolute freak out about government transparency, because I thought that was something that they valued.
Well, right. Democrats campaigned on transparency, accountability, and, quote, saving democracy. And we saw on the oversight hearing yesterday, screaming about Elon Musk and all these things, who's literally doing the work for the federal government. Elon, one hand doing that with Donald Trump. And, they're such hypocrites because, George Soros's son being involved, like they're okay with that, right? That their involvement with federal and state and local governments. But heaven forbid, God forbid, we expose USAID as running a global news cartel. We expose the amount of money that's being wasted. We expose the corruption. We take away certain individuals in the intel community who've leaked state secrets. I mean, we're doing all the things we were tasked to do. And Elon and Trump have shown that what USAID is doing, this is basically communism. You're taking taxpayer money and you're funding propaganda. And he's exposing all of it. And I just can't be any more grateful than I am today.
Right. So yesterday, J.D. Vance said this sort of rapid fire news feed is our new normal. We're going to continue to feel like this, like that, too, that. I almost feel like it serves a purpose, because if Democrats were just able to justify one thing at a time, like they bent over backwards yesterday saying that the Politico contributions for their pro account is normal and it's fine because Politico had just built out this robust pro service and the government needed it. So they had time to craft that before they're hit with something else. Sesame Street, New York Times. And so do you think that for your constituents, this is serving a purpose to show corruption because it needs to be dumped on us like an anvil?
Yeah, absolutely. And we need as much of it as possible. In fact, I'm doing a hearing this afternoon in just a few hours on oversight, exposing the over $10 million the federal government has wasted making animals trans. Like, why are we doing this? The amount of waste. And so American people need it. People are being red-pilled, especially the left, and Democrats are being red-pilled. And that's better for our party. That means that we're getting through, the message is getting through, and people are getting angry, and they're going to join us in arms. They're going to join us in pursuit of the truth, because that's what the American people want. It's what they deserve. That was their mandate in November.
Now, I want to tell you a little story. One of my first stories that I covered as a broadcast journalist was the social network that candidate Barack Obama had launched in order to facilitate full government transparency. Now, not only was he sort of an outsider, even though he was a senator, he was new, he was inexperienced, and he used the internet for the tenets of full transparency. Do Democrats forget that that was something that they championed? Is it just full-on Trump derangement syndrome? We can't see it because it comes through a vessel we don't like.
Oh, no, it's full-on TDS. It's a cancer to them. It's malignant, and they cannot get over it. I mean, we aren't hiding anything. We aren't corrupt. We're just exposing the corruption. Take Elon Musk, for example, which, by the way, bringing up Politico, their latest article says that polling finds Elon Musk unpopular. I'm sure it was bought and paid for by USAID, right? And so... but, looking at it, this is information. This is just, here's the information, you digest it, and then you can make a decision. We're not like putting a spin on it. I mean, some of us are because it's just so crazy, but it's just, you can take the information, you can see it for yourself. You can see where the dollars are going. You can see how crazy this is. And then look at the reaction of the left. Look at Chuck Schumer. Look at Hakeem Jeffries. Look at all of them literally just falling apart, having meltdowns in public, real tears here. And why they're doing this, because it's not putting our country first, it's not putting our safety first, it's not for national security. In fact, they are jeopardizing our nation's security. And so we've got to fix it. And so thank God for Donald Trump. I think there's so many more people part of the MAGA movement. Thank God for Elon Musk. And he spent his whole weekend volunteering last weekend, just looking at fraudulent treasury payments, looking at USAID, and just telling the American people the truth. We deserve it. And Congress deserves it. This is information that I don't have. I don't have enough manpower or staff to uncover what he's been able to do for us. And we should all be extremely grateful.
I also thought that the Democrats are a party of respecting other cultures, but we see through these State Department funded programs that what we've been spending our time and money on is bossing around other cultures and telling them how they need to think and how they need to be, and they need to be more like us. Why can't Democrats actually speak out against that now?
Yeah, it's mission impossible. And also our taxpayer dollars have been spent censoring information in other countries and promoting propaganda in other countries through USAID, but also through some of the big tech companies that are out there that we are all on, and that are begging for Donald Trump for relevance right now. These things have been happening and they won't take responsibility for it, which is why Republicans are going to continue to crush it, because we're telling the truth. And thank goodness, like DOGE came along. Now X is the media, not USAID. And we're putting an end to this. And I hope we go hard in the paint. I hope we go harder than ever before, exposing this and then shutting it down. A 90-day pause for USAID is not enough. Burn the thing to the ground, shut it down, no more. No one will miss it.
I'm also very thrown by this sort of ableist message that Elon Musk has young autistic programmers helping to just parse out data. Hillary Clinton put on X, they have no relevant experience. They aren't old enough to rent a car. This is not a good thing. I thought that, again, the Democrats were the party of not enabling this ableist message that anybody with any ability was valuable. I loved that Secretary of Sean Duffy said, Madam Secretary, with all due respect, experienced Washington bureaucrats are the reason our nation's infrastructure is crumbling. So what are we supposed to make of this? They're making fun, almost, of people with different abilities when that was never their platform.
Yeah, that's 100%. And we need all the autists possible aiding and helping the federal government to expose this. I have hired individuals with autism or on the spectrum, a member of my family who's lightly on the spectrum, and I see the kind of talent and the gifted nature of these minds, the brilliance behind them, that needs to be embraced. And while they might not always fit in a 9-to-5, traditional 9-to-5 job, they are eager, they are willing, they are ready, and they have the brain power and capacity more so than you and I combined. The amount of the ability, their gifted nature, and whatever it is their subject matter expertise is, these are very gifted and talented individuals. And we could only be so lucky to have an autist on our team or in our office or at a federal agency or running DOGE. These are the kind of people that can help expose it quicker, faster, better, more than the average person, and they want to, and they have so many abilities. And to give someone who is labeled with a disability the ability to serve their country in that way, it's amazing.
Yeah. I'm just so confused. Like, we're making fun of people now. I thought the Democrats didn't do that. That's what you hated on Trump for so many years.
It was perceived as a disability too. It's disgusting.
It is. One more question, because this is something that I've been personally thinking about, because April is coming up. We're going to have to file our taxes for 2024. How are we going to get Americans to do that with confidence, knowing that what we're paying for is this kind of crap? Do you think the federal government is going to have some kind of message like, we know your money was wasted. We're sorry. We're not going to do it anymore. Please file your taxes.
Well, I hope in the interim between now and April 15th or October 1st, if you file an extension, that we have no time to waste, that DOGE and others, these new agency heads and secretaries and cabinet members will continue to expose what's going on, truly happening with your tax dollars at a rapid pace. That is what the American people voted on in November. That is the mandate. And they need to hear the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. And we have to get out there and make sure that everyone knows it. So they need to be on X. They need to be out there and gobbling up the information that DOGE is putting out there, because it's insane. And the fact that you have members of the Democrat Party, you have leftists who want to fund these programs, trans programs, gay theater, and I voted for gay marriage. So like, these things in other foreign countries that have nothing to do with America, her people, or our safety, they let them double down, expose it, and give the Democrats a microphone. And I pray they keep talking, because it is their downfall. You can guarantee it.
Yeah, we're watching it in real time. Thank you so much for your time. I know you have limited time, and it's been a pleasure to speak with you on Redacted. Please come back anytime.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.